Hello, welcome back. As part of the Python for Data Science tutorial, I'm going to talk about the very important topic of variables in Python. I'm also going to show you how you can create variables and how you can cast variable types and also use the multiple assignment features to assign multiple values to a variable. So stay tuned until the end of the video because there's a lot of important things you can learn out of the video. So variables, what are variables? Before getting into what variables are in Python, as a refresher, I want to remind you, because I know you know it, you have learned it by now, that variables are pretty much any value that take any attribute of a value or any quantity that takes on different value, right? And we've also learned that pretty much all studies or experiments are performed on some kind of one or two or multiple variables. And variables are not something that we study or measure, but they're also things that we can manipulate and control for while we are performing studies. So a variable can be manipulated into other variables. So in mathematics, a variable is a symbol that represents a mathematical object, right? So when you put all these definitions together, which are mostly book and academic description of variable, they all point out to one thing, which is that a variable is nothing but a container that stores at values or attributes of values. And that's what it is in Python as well. In Python, variable is nothing but a container that you store your values in there, that you store your data in there. So variables can be in many types and in many forms, which we will talk about in the future videos. But it is not much different from what you have learned by now what variables are, except that in Python it has more practical implication where you're creating a variable object container and then you're putting data values in there and then you're manipulating it and modifying it in ways that a variable becomes so much useful that it can be broken down into other variables and it has use for data analysis and data science. So let's talk about creating variable. You create variable in Python. Unlike other programming languages, as for example SQL, in Python you don't have to declare a variable to say, hey, also you don't have to declare a data type for your variable. So simply you provide your variable name. For example, let's say if you want to have a variable for the age and just put, let's say 20, right? And that's the age number. And so all you have to do is with the operator, equal sign operator, you are assigning 20, the value 20 to your variable 20, to your variable of age, right? Which is a value of 20 years old to the age variable. And you run this. And so if you want to see what your age container or what your age variable has, you just simply run age and it gives you 20, right? So as I said earlier, with Python, you don't have to declare the data type. So Python is smart. What it does is as soon as you assign a variable, a value to a variable, it automatically declares the particular data type for that variable. For example, here we assign the value 20 to age, right? Now, if we check the data type for age, we're going to see that it's going to give us an integer, right? Automatically, it assigned the integer data type for our variable age. So that was creating variable, and now we're going to talk about casting variable type, right? So what if we don't want to have an integer? What if we want to like change or cast the data type, right? If you want to, so in that case, you want to specify the data type of variable by the way of casting, right? So in other words, for example, age can be like, let's say age, you can say age, maybe string, right? And then say um, you can say let's say you say a string and then you say string and then in the parentheses you can put age, right? So what this is going to do is, oh sorry, I did not put the equal sign. What it's going to do is it's going to go and change the age. It's going to reassign the age variable to age string, but instead it's going to cast it with string. So when we check the age string data type, we're going to check the variable type. When you say type string, right? I'm sorry, type and then age underscore string, we're going to see that we're going to get a string variable type because we casted it. Let's say if you want to change it, let's say you want to change age to float, right? Then you can just pretty much say age equals to let's say float, and you're going to see this time we did not assign it to a new variable name. You're going to see when you check the type age now, you're going to see that it's trying to change to float right there. So casting would allow you um, to pretty much change the variable type from one type to other, and that makes it very easy. And the last one is going to be assigning multiple values. So in here, as you can see, we assigned one value to one variable, right? We can also have, let's say, many values. Let's say many values to one variable. For example, if you want to have age, and then you say you want to have many values like 22, 35, so 32, 45, 55, right? We assign multiple values to one variable. So when you run age now, you're going to see that you got all those values. But what if you want to have multiple values, right? Many values assigned to many variables, right? So let's say you want to have, let's say uh, you want to have x, right? Y. I think it's better to do with x, y, z, and then equals to, let's say, 10, 20, 30, right? So let me just put the title here. This is uh, multiple values to multiple variables. So when you run this, you're going to see that now each time that we print, let's say we print x, you're going to see that we're going to get the first value that's here, which is 10 right there. Let's say if we want to print y, you're going to see that we're going to get 20. Let's say if we want to get z, you're going to get 30. So these values were assigned to each of these variables by their order. So x for 10, value 10 was assigned to x, value 20 was assigned to y, and value 30 was assigned to z. We can also have one value assigned to multiple variables. So let's say one value to multiple variables, right? In this case, let's say we want to have let's say x, and then we're going to have y, and then z. So this is saying and this is 50. This is saying x equals to y equals to z, and z equals to 550. So that means if z equals to 50, then y also equals to 50. Then if y equals to 50, then x also equals to 50. So all of these variable names only have one value assigned to them, which is 50. So when you run this, you're going to check that when we run x, we're going to get 50. If we check y, we're going to get 50. If we check z, we're going to get 50. So this was pretty much, when you assign one value to multiple variables to multiple variable containers. This is it. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.